Yes, I was in a cult. I'm going to be sharing all about my cult experience in today's episode, and we are going to be doing some makeup inspired by cults in honor of Halloween, as well as for a makeup collaboration that I am in, and I will share a little more about that. If this interests you, make sure that you stay tuned and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps me out. I am Cher. I love to do a lot of beauty, product reviews, makeup looks. I'm also a professional makeup artist, so lots of behind the scenes. And I also love to do travel vlogs. So if all these things really interest you, then make sure you stick around my channel, hit the notification bells and turn them on so that you don't miss more of all these fun topics in the future. So we're going to get started. So I know what you're thinking. Were you really in a cult? Come on now. I'm going to go ahead and start removing my eyeshadow makeup, and we're just going to talk. I'm going to do my makeup and tell my story. This is going to be kind of almost like a get ready with me, but it's cult hour. So I'm sharing my background. Before I get into the heart of the story, I just want to tell you what we're doing with this makeup look and what the basis is for it. So I have several like makeup collaborations with lots of other artists and friends, and so we like to do different looks where we base our makeup off of an inspired picture or inspired theme of the week or what have you. So I now lead a makeup collaboration called Travel Tuesdays Collab, and it's on Instagram. On my Instagram page, you can follow me there, Cher's Beauty. We do fun makeup looks every Tuesday that are based on some kind of travel theme, but we were trying to brainstorm kind of more like Halloween or spooky type ideas. So this week's is going to be on cults around the world. We actually have pictures that we use that are different cults, and we can choose one of those pictures that inspire us the most. So I'm going to put across the screen what look I chose, what I'm going for. So for the most part, I'm going to do this, but I want to have a little twist to it. I really want to do the 7-pointed star symbol that's in Game of Thrones. If you can't tell from my last video where I did House of Dragon makeup, you can obviously tell I am a big Game of Thrones, House of Dragon, all that stuff fan. So sorry, I'm still kind of putting that twist on it too. So the 7-pointed star is like their church. I find it to be more of a cult throughout the show series. So anyway, I wanted to kind of have like that. I'll probably do that symbol across my forehead. But I'm first going to kind of do this look that has more red and black. So that's what I'm going to do. So I just wanted you to have the background and see like the inspiration for what I'm going for. So, and I'm also using my Morphe again, Morphe 3503 Fierce by Nature. Just has all those colors we probably want for today. Okay. So my cult experience. Now, I was really hesitating on whether to even do this video. It's kind of clickbait. I'm not going to lie. I came up with this idea because I thought it would be a really good clickbait subject. However, it is true. I was truly in a cult. The reason I'm a little hesitant to share is just because what kind of got me into this cult was an old boyfriend. And I guess I just feel bad, almost like I'm exploiting him and exploiting like his religion. I don't know if it's still his world now. It's been like 20 years since we talked. So this was from a very long time ago. But anyway, it was a huge part of his life. So I don't want to use this to like exploit him or talk even negatively or have people be like, oh, share all his secrets. And, you know, there were actually some very positive things about his viewpoints and religion. A lot of things that are very misunderstood. So I want to just kind of have a disclaimer about that first, because I don't want it to be like, I don't want to give the impression that I was kind of like a Katie Holmes situation, being roped in by Tom Cruise into Scientology kind of thing, you know? But it is sort of it's a similar religion. Okay. So basically the cult is Christian Science. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Okay. A lot of people confuse Christian Science with Scientology. Because it is similar in that it is sort of that like mind over matter type idea. So Christian Science, I'll just kind of give you a rundown of what it is what they believe and why it's kind of considered a cult. So in Christian Science, a lot of their religion was basically kind of founded on the leader's ideas, and her name was Mary Baker Eddy. She was a very peaceful, loving woman. This is a very peaceful religion. It's not it's not like what we're doing right now, satanic cult, or like sacrificing people or something like that. It's a very peaceful train of thought and everything. So the biggest premise of it was not really, almost like we're all in a dream, and our physical bodies are sort of an illusion. I mean, I'm probably butchering it, but I'm trying to summarize it for you the best I can. Almost like we're all here kind of more in an illusion, and it's really the spirit that rules over the physical and flesh. And a lot of the viewpoints are based on the Bible, but also she has a whole nother book. Like, the sayings of Mary Baker Eddy were like a separate book that they go from too. So in a typical service, like a church service, they would read from both the Bible and from Mary Baker Eddy's readings. Almost like the Mormons, like they have a second, like the Book of Mormon too, So it's kind of like that. I think the biggest issue people have with Christian Science is because of their belief in like mind and like the spirit over matter, over the flesh. They were not big on doctors. Like, they just felt they had the faith in overcoming anything that kind of came up in the physical with their mind, and their belief in the power of the spirit and in all the positive things and love and all of that. So if they got sick, most of them would not go see a doctor, would not take medicine, would not do anything to fix it physically. They wanted to fix it in their mind. So that's where the controversy would come up is, if you have a sick child that might be on their deathbed, might really need medical care, they prefer not to take their kids to the doctor, which would not fly in my household because I have a daughter with type 1 diabetes. And if we don't give her insulin, she dies. Straight up dies. There is no ifs and buts around it. So I can't imagine, had I married him and had children with him and had a daughter that had type 1, that would be a major issue. So, yeah. So that's probably the biggest thing. And Christian Science is a lot more peaceful, and like, nobody's like trying to like control you and have this power over you and tell you like, and it's something you can completely get out of. It's your choice. It's completely like it's just a belief system, and it's where you gather with other people that are like-minded. Nobody's trying to be forceful and, stuff, but it's more that element of it with, lack of medical care is basically, and so there's a lot of issues with, couples going to court where one parent doesn't believe in the doctors and the other does, and want to be able to fight to get their kids medical care, and the other one doesn't want it. And so it's a whole fight, and it's not just medical, it's also other things that like you might want help with, like, any kind of therapy, just anything that might require action in the real world to like fix it, as opposed to going within and having faith that it's going to heal itself, and to be honest, I learned a lot of things. So this was all kind of new to me. I grew up more just your standard, I was raised in the South where the Bible Belt is huge. So I had kind of been around more, mainstream religion. So this was new, but I think I just found it very fascinating. I was like, wow, like, do they actually heal themselves? And there were so many like miracle stories that came out of there. And my ex's parents would heal themselves and stuff all the time, you know? So it was fascinating. I was so like, I was really interested in learning about it and like, do they really like heal themselves with their mind? Can they actually do it, you know? And so that's kind of what drew me to it. And to be honest, I had a bad taste in my mouth with my own religion. It's kind of refreshing to go to a different church where I just learned these new things and nobody was like shoving it on me and being pushy and telling me I was going to go to hell if I didn't believe it. That was just a new thing. So I was more interested in learning it because it was sort of like I had the freedom to learn it. You know, there were positive things I learned about it. And then over time, I felt that it was not for me. Because, you know, it would come down to things like, again, I'm not gonna call anybody out specifically, but there were people who I knew who in the church would sleep in separate bedrooms because they didn't believe in things like that, you know, like, because, you know, if you don't believe in the flesh, you don't want to give power to that flesh. And I was like, yeah, I can't live like that. Sorry. I think there were just elements of it. I was like, this isn't for me, but there's some that, you know, I do find interesting. And so now, we're going to move on and we're going to start, by the way, on like the red makeup. Now, I haven't decided if I'm going to just paint my face with face paint or if I'm just going to like paint it all with like a red out of this. I'm going to go ahead and like try and see what the red looks like. And then we may do face paint if it doesn't work out. That could work out. I don't know. We'll just paint it with eyeshadow. That's fine. I think it's working out fine because I don't really want it to be like super pigmented like with face paint. I'd rather keep it a little like it's shadows, like it's that sunset that you saw in the picture. So I think that the eyeshadow here is going to work better. Some of those principles are, you know, I very much do believe in the power of the mind. Some people might call it toxic positivity. But I really do believe that like our thoughts create. I think it's just the application of it. And, you know, I would never keep from seeing a doctor, things like that. It's kind of more like I believe in approaching things with the power of my mind, but I will still use the physical world or, you know, follow inspiration basically and allow that to play out. So I probably am not 100% against all of the teachings of Christian Science, or even like Scientology. A lot of those are similar. I honestly just think that a lot of them are based in like the ancient practices that humans have kind of all learned hundreds and thousands of years ago. And we just call them different things as we're discovering them, you know, and different religions and different sects form. But that's kind of sharing my experience, my knowledge of Christian Science. I would say that I was fully immersed for a while. While I was dating him, we dated for 2-3 years. You know, I first came to it just kind of curious and learning, and over time, and I started going to church with him, and I was very, you know, close with his family, and his whole family was in it, of course. So it kind of became a way of life for me for a little while, but I don't think I was quite as fully into it as, you know, his family was, because they were pretty much like, I mean, I think their whole life, they pretty much kind of, that was their religion. But anyway, so, you know, I have both positive and negative things to say about it. And I think like a lot of people just, you know, don't know that much about it, and they tend to think of more Scientology with it. You know, I never like I said, I think I hesitated to make this post because I didn't want to be like exploitive of old friends and boyfriend, you know, but at the same time, it made good clickbait. What can I say? I mean, if you're watching now, that's probably what drew you in, right? I probably disappointed you that you didn't get to hear wild stories of me like sacrificing an animal on the altar. It wasn't like that. But it was what people consider, I mean, people do call it a cult. They feel that it's, you know, I think it's that aspect of it. I'm trying to think if there was anything else to share about it. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to start contouring. I love to do this. I love to just like come in and contour with like a different color, and it just really gives a cool effect. Okay, so we're just going to kind of contour with black so that we aren't just straight up like red. We have a little bit of 3D shadowing effects here to just give it a little bit of texture, you know? Just like I would contour normally, I'm just going to contour with black. So think of it that way. This is one of the easiest, best ways to get a good look when you're doing artistic makeup, is just contour with the deeper color. And it just really makes like a cool effect. I'm kind of going for like Satan here. I think I'm doing a pretty good job so far. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and put on lashes, but I'm gonna first just pop on some eyeliner because I definitely want a full wing of just lots of darkness and really outlined. I'm kind of thinking I'm gonna do a feline like that, because I definitely want that Satan looking. I don't know. I just feel like that detail gives it an extra Satan look. So we're going to definitely do that. Okay. And I am definitely going to do big, dramatic, full lashes with it too. Anytime I have these very artistic looks, I definitely go with like the extra drama on lashes. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these lashes on. There's our lashes. I'm looking a little Satan-like, aren't I? Now we're going to pop on the lipstick. You know, I don't think I have straight up black lipstick, so I'm going to go with this, I don't remember the name of it. It almost has a purple tint, but I'm going to try it. So the last thing that we're going to do is the star, which is going to take a really steady hand. I don't really have a stencil, so I'm just going to have to freehand draw it, and that's where I'm a little nervous if it's going to work out or not. So I'm going to use NYX gel liner here, gel cream, to create this with a little brush. And I'm going to attempt this. I'm just going to do straight up black. I thought about doing like, I don't know, we might could color it in or something, but I'm first going to outline it all with black. So I'm going to come up here and create, it's almost like a wishbone at first. That, okay. And a point. It'll look like, I'm trying to remind myself what it looks like. Okay, I probably already messed it up. I really need this in front of me. So the next step was I came and drew this one this way, brought this down to meet that corner, and this one down to meet that corner. Okay, so that's what we got so far. Then I'm going to come in and I'm going to connect each point, but not like right at the point. It's going to be like right about there. And see, this is the problem with doing freehand, is it's not going to be steady. Okay. Okay, obviously not perfect, but you get the idea. So should we color it in? I feel like it's just blah, boring. I'm gonna try to make it look more like the Game of Thrones symbol, which has more like gold and brown. So we're gonna come in here and we're gonna find some, I'm just gonna try to swatch it up. So it's this color right here. So we're first gonna apply inside the star. Actually, I'm gonna do all of this in here though. You can see all my forehead wrinkles. coming through. I don't want to cover up, though, the black. So I may have to come back over the black again. But I just want to kind of outline the star area. So we're going to put this brown on the outside edges. And then I'll just come back and touch up the black spots that I accidentally covered over. That came across like that. Right? Okay, that should be it now, but it looks really horrible. You get the point. Okay, that's our cult look, y'all. Then I'm going to take my sweater and we're just going to be a 7-pointed star cult nun here. I'm going to be a nun. That look ridiculous. So in Game of Thrones, I think they wore more like, not white robes, but like brown robes almost, or like tan robes kind of, but whatever. Whatever. We're going with black and red for this inspired pick, but here we have it. Very good. All right, guys, I think that wraps it up. So I hope you learned a little bit about Christian Science, the good and the bad. We had a little fun, didn't we? And if you are interested in hearing a little more about the same boyfriend, check out my next video from a while ago. I did, this is a prom makeup look, and I was just sharing my prom story. So you can go learn more on that one and check out a prom makeup look as well. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed this and had a little fun, so you don't miss more like this in the future. And I will catch you in the next one.